All right, so it seems like everyone's buzzing about this whole Limitless Labs thing. And you're curious too, right? Like who wouldn't want a little boost, a little shortcut to a better you? These digital pills, they're promising a lot, but let's, before we jump in, are these things legit? And more importantly, are they the right fit for you? That's what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah, and what I find really interesting is that this whole idea, it's really tapping into this, this huge desire for quick and easy personal development tools, right? And the company behind Limitless Labs Inspire 3, they're not some new kid on the block,
Yeah.
They've actually got a pretty solid reputation for creating programs that people actually use and get results from. So that's a good starting point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like some random app, popping up overnight promising you the world. Okay, so let's break it down. What are these digital pills exactly? And how are they supposed to work their magic?
Okay, so think of them like little brain workouts, right? Each one is under 15 minutes. You can squeeze them in, no matter how busy you are. And they're not just like motivational fluff or anything like that. They're actually based on this technique called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP for short. It's basically a way to use language and specific patterns to rewire your thought patterns, tap into the power of your subconscious.
Okay, so there's like an actual method to the madness.
Yeah.
Right. But for those of us who aren't, NLP gurus, can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what exactly does NLP involve? And how does that actually apply to these pills?
So imagine your brain, it's like a computer, right? And it's running on this old, outdated software. NLP is kind of like rewriting that code, installing these new, more powerful beliefs and behaviors. Limitless Labs uses a bunch of different techniques. One of them is called anchoring, where you basically connect a feeling you want, like confidence, let's say, with a physical sensation or an image. So you create this mental trigger you can use whenever you need it.
Whoa. So it's like hacking your own brain for success. I'm starting to see the appeal here. But let's be real for a sec. Does this stuff actually work? I mean, we've all seen those self-help programs that promise you the moon and stars, and you end up with like a tiny little pebble, right?
Yeah, here's the thing about personal development. It's such a personal journey, right? What works for one person might totally flop for someone else. And a lot of times it takes more than just listening to something to make a real change. Limitless Labs gives you the tools and the techniques, but it's up to you to actually use them consistently, make them a part of your life.
Yeah, it's not a magic wand or anything. You got to put in the work. But okay, let's talk about what we actually get here. We've got 36 of these digital pills covering topics like productivity, confidence, stress management. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So how do they actually address all these different areas?
Okay, so let's take the productivity pills, for example. They use this technique called reframing. It's basically about changing how you see a situation, looking at it from a more positive angle. So instead of thinking of a deadline as this big scary thing that's stressing you out, you might reframe it as like a challenge that actually helps you focus, and do your best work.
So you're basically changing the story you're telling yourself in your head, right? Instead of feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, you're like training your brain to see those tasks as opportunities. Like, hey, this is a chance to grow.
Exactly. And it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It goes deeper than that. It's about changing those really deep-seated beliefs that might be holding you back. A lot of the reviews we've seen, people talk about this shift in mindset. They feel more in control of their time and their energy.
Okay, I'm liking this reframing thing. Sounds like a pretty powerful way to deal with procrastination and, actually get stuff done. But what about the confidence sessions? What kind of NLP tricks are they using for that?
One of the techniques they use is visualization. So you basically imagine yourself in a situation that would normally make you nervous, like giving a presentation or going to a networking event. And you see yourself just totally rocking it, feeling confident and relaxed. This mental rehearsal helps you reduce anxiety and build up your self-assurance.
Interesting. So it's like giving your brain a sneak peek at success. So when the real thing happens, it's like, okay, I got this.
Exactly. And they also use affirmations, which are these positive statements about yourself. You repeat them over and over to challenge those negative thoughts and reprogram your subconscious.
Yeah, I've heard of affirmations, but I've always been a little bit like, does that really work? Can just saying something over and over actually change how you think?
Well, think about it this way. Your brain is always processing information, right? And it creates these pathways based on what you're thinking and believing. The more you repeat a thought, the stronger that pathway gets. So affirmations are a way to intentionally create those pathways for positive self-belief.
Okay, so it's like building mental muscle memory for confidence. I'm starting to see how these different techniques can work together to actually create some real change. But what about the stress relief pills? I mean, in today's world, who doesn't need a little bit of that?
That's where they bring in things like guided meditation and deep breathing exercises. These practices help to calm your nervous system, reduce anxiety and promote a sense of peace and well-being. And you don't have to be like a meditation expert or anything. The sessions are made for beginners too. They guide you through it step by step.
So you're telling me I can go from feeling totally stressed out to like Zen master in under 15 minutes? I got to try that.
And the best part is you can do these sessions anytime, anywhere. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at work, you can just pop in your earbuds, take a few minutes, and reset.
That's the beauty of these digital pills, right? It's like they're made for our busy, crazy lives. But let's get back to our listener who's trying to figure out if this is worth the money. We've talked about the techniques and how convenient it is, but how do we know if it actually works? Like, are people actually seeing results?
It's like anything else in personal development, Results are going to be different for everyone. Some people say they feel more focused, more productive, more confident, less stressed. But other people might not notice much change, or they might not find the techniques helpful.
Right. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that personal development, it's a journey, not a destination, right? Limitless Labs gives you a set of tools, but it's up to you to use them the right way and to keep using them.
It's like having a gym membership, right?
Yeah.
You can join the best gym in the world with all the fancy equipment, but if you don't actually go and work out, you're not going to see any results.
Perfect analogy. It's not about just listening. It's about actively participating and, making a conscious effort to apply what you learn.
All right. I think I'm getting the bigger picture here. It's not about some overnight transformation. It's about giving yourself the tools and the know-how to create lasting change. But for someone who's still not sure, what would you say are the most important things to think about when deciding if Limitless Labs is right for them?
I'd say it comes down to a few things. First, are you really serious about investing in your personal growth? Second, are you open to trying new things and experimenting with different techniques? And third, are you willing to make it a regular part of your life? Commit to the process.
Those are great points. It's about finding the right fit, right? A program that matches your values, your goals, your lifestyle.
Exactly. And you got to have realistic expectations, too. Limitless Labs isn't a magic bullet. It's a tool. And like any tool, it's only as good as the person using it.
So it's about taking charge of your own growth and realizing that these digital pills are a resource, a guide. But ultimately, the power to change comes from within. But let's not forget about the money. We've talked about the value, but how much does it actually cost? Is it worth the investment?
$97. You get access to all 36 digital pills for life. If you were to go to individual therapy sessions or workshops or coaching programs, it could easily cost you way more than that. So in a way, Limitless Labs gives you a lot for your money, especially if you actually use it,
So it's kind of like a gym membership. You pay once and you get access to everything but for your mind instead of your body.
Exactly. And just like with a gym, the more you use it, the more you get out of it. But yeah, the fact that it's not super expensive definitely makes it easier to try out, compared to those other programs that cost like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely more accessible.
Okay.
But let's go back to whether it actually works for a sec. We've heard stories from people who say they've seen positive changes, but is there any real proof that NLP actually does anything?
Well, NLP's been around for a while now, actually decades even. And people have used it in a lot of different fields like therapy and business coaching to help people get over their limiting beliefs and communicate better and achieve their goals. The research on how effective it is, it's still kind of developing, but there's more and more evidence that suggests it can be a really useful tool for personal growth.
So it's not just some trendy self-help thing. There's an actual method behind it, and professionals have been using it for a long time.
Exactly. And what Limitless Labs has done is they've taken these techniques that have been proven to work and made them easy for anyone to use, They've broken everything down into these short sessions that you can fit into your day, no problem.
So let's say someone's listening and they're like, all right, I'm ready to try this out. What's the best way to approach Limitless Labs? Any tips for getting the most out of it?
I would say go into it with an open mind and be willing to try different things. Don't expect to change your whole life overnight, but be open to the possibility that you might start to think and act differently over time. The most important thing is consistency. Try to listen to at least one pill every day and really think about how you can use what you learn in your everyday life.
That's great advice. It's like treating it like a workout for your mind, right?
Yeah,
You got to show up consistently and put in the effort to see results.
exactly. And don't forget, personal growth, it's not about reaching a certain point. It's a journey, right? There are going to be times when you feel like you're making progress and times when you feel stuck. The key is to be patient with yourself, celebrate the small wins, and just keep learning and growing.
Well said. So, to sum it all up, Limitless Labs is a convenient and affordable way to explore personal development, and it can be really effective too. It's created by a company with a good reputation, it's based on a solid methodology, and it's designed to fit into our busy modern lives.
It's like having a personal development coach right there in your pocket, ready to give you guidance whenever you need it. And hey, who knows? You might just discover some of that limitless potential within you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Limitless Labs. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.